Tupac Shakur was born on June 16, 1971, with the birth name of Lassane Paris Crooks. He was the child of two Black Panther activists, Billy Garland and Afeni Shakur. His mom, Afeni, gave birth to him shortly after beating federal charges in New York City. Afeni represented herself in court and was acquitted on all charges. So she feared that enemies of the Panthers or the government officials would try to harm or take her child from her if she gave him the infamous last name, Shakur. After his first birthday, he received the name we know him as today, Tupac Amaru Shakur, and he was named after the Peruvian revolutionary author, Tupac Amaru II. Afeni stated, "I wanted him to have a name of a revolutionary indigenous people in the world. I wanted him to know he was a part of a world culture, not just from a neighborhood." Growing up in East Harlem, Tupac faced challenges that would make even the strongest of wills falter. He was constantly surrounded by poverty, violence, and social injustice, which would later fuel his music and formed as his message. His mother, after becoming addicted to drugs and not able to find work, she moved the family to Baltimore, Maryland. Shakur attended the Baltimore School of Arts in high school, where he performed in several theatrical plays. After a few years in Maryland, Shakur moved to the San Francisco Bay Area, Marion City, California. Right before graduation, he dropped out of high school, realizing he didn't have enough credits and didn't want to return another year to finish up. Later, he received his GED. After leaving Marion City, Pac spent some time in Oakland, California, becoming entrenched in the local rap scene. Pac got his first taste around the music business as a roadie and background dancer for the hip-hop group Digital Underground. Initially, he was supposed to be a part of a rap group, but he wasn't satisfied with that. He wanted more. He got his big break on one of Digital Underground's hit singles, Same Song. With his verse, he put the hip-hop world on notice. Shakur's debut album, Tupacalypse Now, came in November 1991, with tracks like If My Homies Call, Trapped, and Brenda's Got a Baby. Poetically depict the struggles living in the Black community. The album ruffled some feathers with the White House and Vice President Dan Quayle, with him saying, "There's no reason for a record like this to be released. It has no place in our society." But Tupac's star continued to grow. Tupac was met with resistance from the music industry, which often tried to pigeonhole him as just another gangster rapper. But he refused to be silenced, using his platform to address the harsh realities of life in the inner city. Shakur's second album, Strictly for My Niggas, was released in February 1993. A critical and commercial success, it debuted at number 24 on the pop albums chart on Billboard 200. An overall more hardcore album, it emphasizes Tupac's social and political views and had sound production quality. The album carries the singles I Get Around and the powerful anthem, Keep Your Head Up. With all the positive momentum Shakur had going for himself, Pac's legal troubles began to mount, with charges ranging from gun charges to sexual abuse. In 1994, while getting on the elevator at Quad Studios, a New York City recording studio, he was robbed and shot 5 times, but survived. There are more details surrounding this shooting, but I won't be covering it in this video. Shortly after the shooting, Shakur was acquitted of weapon and sodomy charges, but found guilty of sexual abuse and sentenced to prison. Even behind bars, Tupac's spirit remained unbroken, and he continued to write and create. While incarcerated, his third album, Me Against the World, was released on March 1995. This album catapulted him to international stardom. Most consider this album his breakthrough album and is commonly ranked amongst the most influential rap albums ever. The album debuted at number 1 on Billboard 200 and sold over 240,000 copies in its first week, which was the record at the time for the highest first week sales for a solo male rapper. The album also notably features the track Dear Mama. This powerful song has since been included in the Library of Congress for its cultural significance. This is one of the highest honors that can be bestowed on any artist. In October 1995, Suge Knight visited Shakur in prison for the second time and posted a $1.4 million bond. Shakur was released from prison and returned to Los Angeles and joined Death Row Records. He would go on to release All Eyes on Me on February 13th, 1996. Rap's first double album, selling more than 560,000 copies in the first week, with the album being laced with melodic and hard-hitting beats, leaving behind his previous political messages, exchanged with a more feel-good, victorious theme. All Eyes on Me, his best work yet, the album was brash, more than previously seen from Shakur's work, with production from a collection of producers, including Dr. Dre and Jodeci's Devontae Swing. The album had plenty of party tracks and often a triumphant tone. Away from the music, Tupac remained committed to his activism, using his platform to raise awareness about social justice and police brutality. At this time, the music industry was rife with violence and violent lyrics. Art was imitating life and spilling over into the real world, with the East Coast-West Coast feud reaching a boiling point. Tupac found himself at the center of the storm, with his music often being seen as a reflection of the turmoil that surrounded him. But despite the danger, Tupac never backed down from any challenge. On September 7th, 1996, after attending a Mike Tyson fight in Las Vegas, Tupac was shot 4 times by an unidentified assailant, sending shockwaves throughout the music world. At 4:03 p.m. on September 13th, Tupac Shakur was pronounced dead at 25 years old, just 6 days after his shooting. The music landscape was forever changed that day, with Tupac's death marking the end of an era. The outpouring of grief was overwhelming, with tributes pouring in from all corners of the globe. It was clear that Tupac's impact went far beyond his music. He had touched the hearts and minds of people everywhere. Tupac's 5th studio album, finished before his death but released after, he was under the stage name of Machiavelli. In the album, The Don Illuminati, The 7-Day Theory, Tupac explored themes of paranoia, mortality, and redemption. The lyrics were written and recorded and mixed in less than 7 days. It was as he knew his time was running out, and he was determined to leave a lasting legacy. At the time of his death, Tupac had released 4 solo studio albums. One album named Thug Life Volume 1 with his group Thug Life. Thug Life was also tattooed on Tupac's lower belly. It was an acronym for "The hate you give little infants fucks everyone." He starred in 6 movies. He did all of this by the age of 25. And 7 more albums were released after his death. Tupac was said to be a workaholic, creating 30 to 40 songs for each album. So he had plenty of music left over in the vault. In the years that followed his untimely demise, Tupac's legacy continued to grow, with his music remaining as relevant now as it was during his lifetime. In 2002, Shakur was inducted into the Hip Hop Hall of Fame. In 2017, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in his first year of eligibility. Rolling Stone ranked Shakur among the 100 greatest artists of all time. In 2023, he was awarded a posthumous star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. His influence in music and activism, songwriting, and other areas of culture has been the subject of academic studies. His music would be celebrated in documentaries, books, and even Broadway shows. But more than that, Tupac's life serves as a reminder of the power of resilience, of the importance of using one's platform to speak truth to power, and of the need to never give up in the face of adversity. Tupac is undoubtedly a legendary figure in hip-hop history, with an impact on the genre and society that still is felt to this day. From his passionate lyrics to his captivating stage presence, Tupac was a true original, a voice for the voiceless, and a beacon of hope for those struggling to find their way. So as we reflect on Shakur's life and legacy, we're reminded of the enduring influence he continues to have on music and society. He may be gone, but his spirit lives on, a beacon of hope for generations to come. One Tupac quote that stands out to me. He said, "I'm not going to change the world, but I guarantee I will spark the brain that will change the world." His legacy lives on, with his music continuing to inspire and empower generations to come. What's your favorite Tupac song or moment? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want more music history content, like, share, and subscribe. And be sure to check out my upcoming videos for more in-depth explorations of fascinating stories behind the music.